he worked so hard this offseason and had an opportunity to be a starter in the NFL, and you go out like that. Second play of preseason game one is not easy, really tough, but I know he's going to bounce back, and that's the character he has. He's going to put his head down and work. He's in pretty good spirits and obviously he's disappointed, but ready to attack his next chapter.
We ask you a lot, we talk to you a lot about preseason, the importance of playing. Is it any more frustrating, like you said, second play of a preseason game?
Yeah, it's football, so you never know. It could happen in practice, it could happen in a preseason game, it could happen in a playoff game. It happens everywhere, kind of. So it's one of those things where you never expect it, but it's tough. It wasn't really a regular season game, but anytime it's tough.
How much time have you spent working with Ethan up to this point? Have you spent much at all?
Yeah, we get some reps. I mean, an individual and all that stuff, you get reps all the time with different centers and different tackles, so you get to work on it. He's gotten a few reps with the, first team, and he's an experienced guy. Got a bunch of starts in his butt. He sits next to me in meetings, so we talk about calls and things like that. But he's a lot of experience. He did pretty good when he got in the other day, and I think he's ready for the opportunity.
The body type seems so different between him and Nick. Is that taking an adjustment for you guys?
A little bit. You see where he holds the ball at, and you get your depth off the ball, and your splits might be a little bit different. You used to maybe his steps are a little wider or shorter. You just got to get used to the guy. But JC was a tall center too. He's a pretty tall, big center, probably the biggest center I've played with. But he's strong, and like I said, he has a lot of experience. So we'll get used to it. We had a few weeks before the opener, so we got some time to get some reps in.
Speaking of JC, are you surprised he isn't with the team? And yeah, you're a center down here.
Yeah,
But are you surprised he's not with the team right now?
Yeah, I think there's always other information out there, but from what I understand, I think he's still a pretty good player in this league, and he played really well last year, and I think he'd make a team better, if he's on it. You know what I mean? But I don't know those conversations. They're all above my pay grade. But no, I think he's a great player, and I think any team he'd go to, he'd bring a level of professionalism to it.
Joel, obviously, these guys are really excited about Ethan. But, I mean, did you hear from JC after this? I think that's a thought that came to everyone's mind about JC. Did you guys have a conversation, and would you put a good word in for him here to maybe come back?
I mean, I think his resume speaks for itself, the time he put in with the Browns and stuff. And, yeah, I mean, we talk all the time. We're, constantly texting and stuff like that. So we were talking. He was more concerned about Nick, and, obviously he worked with Nick a lot. So it was, he was checking in on him, making sure he was, in a good headspace and all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, if they asked me about it, I would, tell them how it is. And I think they have experience here with JC and what he brings to the table as a player.
And he went so hard, took such a hardline stance on the, not going to off-season programs, and fought so hard for you guys in that regard. In your opinion, do you think that he's paying the price for that at all this year?
It's hard to say. Again, like, I don't hear those conversations all the time, but I think when you have a guy that's top 5, top 10 center in the league, and he's not on a roster, and he's the NFLPA president, and maybe some of the owners don't appreciate what he brings to the table on certain topics where he's trying to protect player safety and things of that nature. It seems a little suspicious to me, but again, I don't know what's going on behind closed doors. I don't know what his conversations have been with teams and stuff, but just from an outside perspective, usually, players that are close to the top of their game, get picked up. Teams want to win in this league. So it's an interesting topic for sure.
To be sure, does he want to keep playing?
I think so. I don't think he's, announced his retirement or anything like that.
Hey, can I ask you this? You have an initiative today, don't you? Bringing kids out to
Yeah,
practice?
yeah.
Can you talk about that?
Yeah, kid again. It's something I just actually started working on this offseason. I got put together with them, and it's just something. It's kids that are terminal conditions. So it's tough conditions. But they do adventures for the whole family. So when a kid's going through something like that, the parents, the brothers, the sisters, the cousins, and stuff go through it too. It's a tough situation. But yeah, they work together, do these adventures. They have all types of little events throughout the year, and I just thought the Browns at football practice and seeing some of the guys would be pretty cool. So a bunch of the families are going to come out here, and hopefully some of the players will be able to stop by and say hi and take some pictures and things like that.
Many?
I'm not exactly sure on the numbers. I think they're going to be over in one of the bleachers over there, so that they'll have a little bit of space.
Now that you have kids of your own, I mean, does it, that's even more near and dear to your heart to see what parents like
Yeah,
have to go
I mean,
through?
once you have a kid, it's like your whole world kind of flips upside down, and just like what you're important in life, what's important, and anytime you see someone with kids, and I mean, really anything in life is like, how can we get kids a better start to life and taken care of and stuff. But there is some definitely heartbreaking moments in it. But hopefully we can brighten some days and have a good time.
Joel, between Blake Hance and Michael Dunn, is either of them better at adjusting as a kind of versatile center, swingman type of role?
I know both of them gotten reps. I think Blake's probably had a few more reps at center, but I think Michael's done it too, and that's the good thing that Coach Callahan does. He has those guys. If you're a backup, you get multiple times snapping the ball in practice and stuff. And I know Yelda has had some reps at center as well. So I think we have some guys that can get some snaps in there.
Yelda, that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah, Yelda. Yeah, it's a lot easier than it looks, right?
Yeah. There's an H in there.
Yes.
Kevin said that Jacoby's going to start taking the bulk of the first team reps today. I know you guys have worked with him some, but how do you think that transition will be? And because now it's kind of preparing him for week one.
Yeah, and I like you said, we've gotten some reps with him. I think they usually get a few reps here with the ones every day in practice, in the walkthroughs and stuff like that. He's been getting reps, but I think anytime you want to know the guy's going to play for at least 6 games probably, you got to get him ready to play week one, and that's kind of the most important thing. So it'll be good. It's kind of like working with Poe, where we're going to have a few weeks to get ready and get rolling here and get the offense on the same page.
Joel, it was a sparse crowd, but it was very audible booing for Watson. And he looked rattled right off the first pass to Schwartz that was wide open. Do you think that's weighing on him now? It's been a long fight for him.
I haven't talked to him about that. I'm sure not playing football in however long it's been, is probably a bigger concern. But the crowd was loud for a preseason game in Jacksonville. They got pretty loud down there. And, the whole offense was just a little sloppy to start. I think to put it on one person is tough, and I think, it's something we want to start faster. And, we had penalties and drops and, bad throws and missed blocks and all those things just added to like a sloppy start for us. So I think if we can get off to a better start, it's going to help the whole operation.
What did you think of the booing, and you think that'll get worse if you play it more?
Oh, I'm sure every stadium we go to will be booed. I don't know if it'll get worse. I think people get tired of booing, but I'm sure every time he goes out there, there'll be some sort of boo to start, the game, and we'll kind of go from there.
Did you have any conversations with Deshaun on the sidelines at all on Friday night?
Just little things. When you're not playing, you want to know what play it is, and so he has the headset, so you ask him, what play they're calling or things like that, but nothing super in depth.
You guys are holding joint practices this week with the Eagles. I know that one of the reasons preseason is still important in the NFL, it's a pretty big revenue stream. Just from a football standpoint, do you find the joint practices to be more beneficial for you as a player over maybe a preseason game?
If they're done right, I think so, and I think Coach Stefanski does a good job of that. You don't want to come out here and just fight the whole time, because then and we've been a part of a few of those, in my time here. But you want to get reps in, and as long as guys are smart about it, and because it's a different team. So when you're practicing against your own team, like you're protecting each other, hopefully, in here, and so hopefully you have that right mentality. But if you can get some good reps, like for us on the offensive line, like the Eagles D line is one of the best in the league, so we're gonna get some really good work. And it's go against someone different. So there's definitely some positive from it if it's done correctly.
How would you, if you could design the perfect preseason setup, how would you do it?
Like Joel year 9 or Joel year 1, 'cause
Joel year 9.
Joel year 9, I don't think. It's so tough for me because I see both sides of it, where you want to get a team ready to play football games, but you also see injuries that happen. Zach Wilson had a big scare. Obviously Nick. Those things are tough to see, and it's football, so it could happen in practice, it could happen in the games, it could happen any time. But I feel like you want to limit, those. So for me personally, I don't know if we need that many games. I know you need to evaluate some of the young guys, but maybe cut it down to 2 or keep shortening it, where it's kind of an extended period of time, and you can have more controlled joint practices or something else, instead of, an actual game where you got to put in, a bunch of plays.
On the other hand, the Grant injury was just non-contact
Yeah.
out here. So.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it can happen anytime, it's football.
Joel, when you say that you expect that you guys will get booed everywhere you go, Do you mean even if Jacoby is out there starting?
I'm not sure about that. I think once Deshaun came out of the game, we got booed less. But you go to a road game, I mean, they boo you anyway. You know what I mean? So we'll see how it goes. I'm sure it seems like more than ever, Cleveland gets the world. So we'll be ready for it.
And you don't think that rattled him?
No, I think you expect it as a. I mean, going into any game I've been to, it's been loud, it's been boos. That first time you get out on the series anyway. I don't think that
Yeah,
rattled
but
him.
they're not booing you.
Right.
You knew they were booing him.
Yeah, you guys have to ask him. I don't know what's going on through his, in his mind about what's rattling him or what's not.
You guys talking about Cleveland against the world now?
No, I think it's pretty obvious, but no, we don't talk about it in there. We're just focused on us.